It's light, it's bright, and it draws attention to whatever it touches. But the ink in a highlighter pen would go all over the page rather than where you want it if not for the special material that's hidden inside. Yellow is the most popular color for highlighters because it's the brightest and most transparent. So most highlighters start out like this, as tiny yellow plastic pellets that get melted down to make the highlighter barrels and caps. A tube pumps thousands of the plastic pellets into a hopper that drops the pellets into a long chamber that heats them to their melting point of 216 degrees Celsius. Then the liquid plastic shoots into an injection molding machine, where a hydraulic-powered screw forces the plastic into 64 individual molds to make 64 highlighter caps. It takes 2.5 tons of pressure to make sure every mold is fully filled, and just 2 seconds for the plastic to cool. Then the mold opens and snaps the caps from their plastic runners. The extra plastic is collected and sent through a grinder to be used again. And the caps fall onto a conveyor belt and are off to meet up with their highlighter pens. The barrel or body of the highlighter is made by another injection molding machine that can crank out 16 barrels every 16 seconds. The barrels pop out of their molds and into a hopper that queues them up for the labeling machine. Once inside the machine, an automated platform spins the barrels so they're facing the right direction before they're labeled. Then a heat pad warms the ink on the label and transfers it onto the barrels as they roll under the pad. And the finished barrels are ready for the most important part of the highlighter, the ink. Now, getting the ink into the highlighter is not as easy as it sounds. First, a sensor makes sure that each barrel is facing the right direction. If not, a mechanical arm picks it up and flips it round. Look closely. It moves so fast it's hard to see. Then another arm slides a polyester filter into each barrel. This is what holds the highlighter ink. The machine then pushes in bottom plugs to hold the filter in place, and it's finally time to add the ink. As the barrels travel past, 2 skinny needles inject exactly 4 grams of yellow ink into each filter. That's the perfect amount to fully saturate the filters. And these highlighters are almost loaded and ready to go. But to get the ink out of the filter and onto the page, there's one more thing that's needed. A special polyester writing tip called a nib. The nib has tiny veins inside that draw the liquid ink out of the filter and into the tip. And those same veins actually hold the ink in the nib until the tip is pressed down on the page so the highlighter won't leak. Once the nibs are in place, the inking machine takes the highlighter caps and pops them onto the barrels. Workers stack the finished highlighters in boxes, and they're ready to mark anything that needs a little extra attention.